Thank you, Andrea. So I want to start off the night by saying I'm really privileged to be able to come up here and host tonight. I really do appreciate what Andrea and Christine go through every week to have this free outlet for people that have art that want to show it off and get it more permanently on the internet forever. So yeah, I mean, I've been coming here. I started coming here with Chase originally like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, and then I stopped for a while, and then I just recently came back with him before he moved. So I've been really adapt to come back to this place. I feel like I've made a lot of connections, like really good friendships with people, and I've got to know a lot of people. And most of you would know that I might have lost a couple pounds, and that's pretty awesome. But I feel like my reason for losing weight is kind of shitty. So like most people have like cool stories like, yeah, dude, I had like this huge out-of-body experience where my body told myself I was unhealthy. I had to fix my habits. Or like I got diabetes or something. No, I woke up one day and I went to take a piss and I looked down and I was like, ah! And my dick had shrunk. Like a whole 2 inches gone. Just like I used the pencil sharpener for too long. Like I felt like I was cheated out of some, good relationships with that. It was cut short, too short. So naturally, as a man, like 2 hours later, I had a gym membership and I was pumping iron hard as hell because I was like, I am not losing my freaking brother in arms. So I'm doing bench press one day. It's been about 4 weeks. And like the first few weeks at a gym are cool and they're super easy because nobody knows you. You're not recognizable yet. You haven't been around. You haven't used the equipment, None of the personal trainers know your name. You're just kind of like flying under the radar and they're like, oh, it's just another guy that's going to be here for a week and then leave. But I got past the point of no return. People started knowing who I was. They see me regularly. They started saying hi and shit. And the question always comes up like, yo, man, what made you start lifting, man? What made you turn your life around? And I hated that question because I didn't want to look at these people that are like getting in shape to better their lives and go, I got a shrinking pee-pee. Like, I just felt like I didn't have the right to be there, So a couple weeks go by and I'm doing bench press, man. And like anybody that knows how a bench press works, you're like laying on your back and you're in a very peculiar position because the person spotting you is like laying their beef on your forehead. Like it's just right there. So you have no option. And I was kind of struggling with this weight and this freaking giant hulk of a man walks over. He's like, I got you, brother. And he starts like spotting me. And I'm like a parrot on my shoulder. I'm just like afraid it's going to start talking to me because I'm like sweating and like I'm about to pass out. And I finally take it off and I stand up and I'm like, no, listen, Bruce Banner, you can't like run up on people like randomly like that. Like you got to give a man some warning, like throw a whistle or something. And he's like, no, it's cool, dude, whatever. He's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, dude, it's cool. I like having a spotter. It makes me safer and stuff. And because I felt kind of bad for kind of jumping on him. And he was like, and then I started thinking, like my head just like my paranoia came over me. And I was like, he's going to ask me why I come to the gym. Like it's going to get there because I do not look as good as he looks. And he's going to be like, well, why do you want to look like me, So I'm like trying to think of this way I could get the subject to never get there. And I'm like, my genius ass comes up with, I'm going to ask him first. And while he's explaining why he comes to the gym, I'm going to think of an elaborate excuse on why I got to get the fuck out of here before he asks me that question. So I'm like, yo, man, why do you come to the gym? And of course, it's like some super inspirational story. He's like, yeah, man, I mean, I found out I was going to be a dad, and I was going down a bad road. I was 500 pounds all the way through high school, dude. I needed to make a change. My heart wasn't working fully, and I got surgery, and then I lost a bunch of weight. Now I'm in bodybuilding competitions. I do these swimsuit competitions. He's like, I'm in powerlifting. I do bodybuilding. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And I was, like, so blown away by how bitchin' I just met this dude. Like, how cool he is. I, like, didn't think of an excuse, and it hits me all at once. And he says the last thing, and I'm like, ah! And he gets ready, and I see it in slow motion. He doesn't say it, but I see his mouth moving, and I'm just deaf to it. And he asked me why I lifted the gym. And I was like, oh, I got a phone call. I got to go. And I just left the gym. And... And so I'm like getting in my car and he runs out and he stops me. And I was just like, man, I feel kind of bad because I lied to this guy, Like I just totally lied. And he's like, no, man, why do you come to the gym? He's like, I want to know. I genuinely want to know because I want to be your friend. And I was like, well, what am I going to tell this guy? Like, so I decided to lie. I was like, yo, dude, I'm training for like doing 3 marathons in a day. I want to be like that new inspirational like Dwayne Johnson kind of guy, bro. I just like want to eat weights at the gym. Like I want to lift 1,000 pounds with my pinky and shit. And he's like, whoa, dude, you're badass. And I see his face kind of get sad, like he's upset. And I was like, I'm like, why is he upset? He's like, obviously he could kick the shit out of me. Like, I'm no threat to him whatsoever. Even if it's his primal mind deep down, he's not threatened by me. And finally he like gets all sad and he goes, can I confess something to you, bro? And I was like, this is gonna get weird. Like, this big burly man wants to come back to my house. I'm like, got a kid, bro, no thanks. And so I'm finally like, yeah, dude, anything, what you need? And he goes, well, everything I told you was true except for the reason that I came to the gym to start working out. And I was like, this motherfucker lied to me. I was like upset and offended. I was like a fucking girlfriend that found out he cheated. I'm like, you motherfucker. Like, you were my idol. And I like started freaking out. And then I finally am like, well, I lied to him. But I'm like, no, still fuck this guy. Like, I'm not going to tell him the mom was a lie. And I just got curious and I said, hey man, so why do you come to the gym? And he goes, well, about 2 years ago, I woke up one morning and I went to take a piss. And I looked down and my dick was smaller. And I was like, bro, we're friends for life. And I like took him into my car and sat him down and I was like, you're gonna wanna hit this. And I handed him a joint. And I was like, bro, everything I told you was a lie. I too have a small PP. And he's like, bro, no way. And I'm like, bro, I know. And he's like, dude, is yours from steroids too? And I'm like, yeah, obviously. I ate a bunch of steroids to get ready for this eating competition. It counteracted the whole fucking negatives. So me and this guy, we started working out pretty regularly, you know? He's like a big-ass dude. He can, like, lift a lot of weights. And I'm like, nobody will talk shit to the fat kid when he's got a big-ass fucking older brother, basically. It looked kind of like the Thor from the new Endgame, like me, and then, like, Bruce Banner as Hulk next to him, you know? Like, the same comparison. I was, like, huge beer gut, and he's just, like, jacked. And one day, this dude walks over, and he's like, he asks us, he goes, hey, man, like, you guys know, like, what's going on with the bathroom situation? I'm like, no, what do you mean? And he goes, there's like 4 dudes in there like shooting up a bunch of steroids. And I was like, that's not my cup of tea. Like, I have no idea about that. But as soon as I started saying that, my friend, I found out his real name was like Zach. So Zach, he goes, dude, really? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, do you see which locker they got him out of? And I was like, I'm not the one telling you there's people shooting up in the bathroom. How's this fucking guy? Like, I didn't see anything. And he goes, I'm checking my locker. And he goes over to his locker. And he pulls out what I assume is what they put RPGs in to smuggle them. Like, it's like an 8-foot long, like, duffel bag that zips all the way underneath. And I was like, what the hell? And he opens it up, and it is full of pill bottles. Like, every pill I've ever seen ever in his bag. And I'm like, okay. And he grabs one pill bottle that's, like, full, and he shakes it, and he goes, there's 4 missing. We're going in there. Fuck this kid. And he, like, kicks the door in. And I'm like, oh, shit. Gotta get my set, dude. I'm gonna come over here and not involve myself with a crime. This is B&E, dude. You're gonna get some indecent exposure charges. But he kicks the door in, and there's these dudes bent over like 3 dudes in a row bent over the sink, and one guy with a needle. And he's just giving these dudes steroid shots in the ass. And I go to Athletic Edge. It's like right across the street from ABK. So I'm like, this is fucked up. Like, go to a different gym if you're gonna do steroids. And like, okay, so I thought at this point that I was going to have to get involved to help my new friend Zach, because if I didn't, Zach was going to beat me up. So I go to the door, and I'm like standing there, and Zach's like telling these guys that they stole his steroids, and they're like, dude, it's not steroids. And he's like, yeah, it is. I'm missing like this pill and this pill. I don't even know what he was saying. It was like a bunch of names. And they're like, no, dude, no. And we're like, what's going on? And I like walk in, and they're like, bro, this is ketamine. And I was like, that's a terrible pre-workout. If you've ever done ketamine, it is a downer for sure. I was like, why are y'all doing ketamine? And they're like, well, because we just did a bunch of coke in the parking lot. And I'm like, I can't go to this gym anymore. First of fucking all. Like, these people are going to peel me like a fucking banana. Like, I'm like wondering about, like, I went there for like 2 more weeks, and I'm like looking around, and like I see this dude sweeping. And he's like sweeping like he's listening to the best music ever. And he's not wearing headphones, so there's no music playing. He's just fucking so happy to be fucking sweeping, just fucking going ham, like wiping off shit. And I'm like, you can't be that happy cleaning workout equipment. It stinks. You're high. Like, you gotta be high. So, not to mention that all the fucking treadmills, all the 10 button was like wore out because everybody just cranks it up when they're flying on crack. They're just like getting it as fast as they can. everybody runs like the freaking $1 million man. It was pretty crazy. So I don't go to that gym anymore, so I'm gaining the weight back, so my pee-pee's small again. Sucks. Anyway, thought you guys would want to know that. Thank y'all very much for listening to my story today. Thank you very much for coming out. Greatly appreciate it.
Keep it going for your host, Leland, everybody.
Hey, thank you guys. So I'm going to bring this